Hello there, my name is Rachel. The first time you see my channel, I used to review cartoon series, anime series, so what's up and Computer Random, and today we'll talk about Kid Consummate Season 3, The Finale. And this season only has 6 episodes because Crank Crackit only wanted 3 seasons and the final season just been 6 episodes. And you think that's a little bit too little, but when you start watching and finish the series, you realize no, 6 episodes was perfect because he just sort of fixed a sort of things that need to be fixed, and that sort of twist what happened in the second episode. Because once more, if you've seen the trailer you were expecting, oh wait, they're showing too much, or a little bit too much. When you finally watch the series, you realize no, the trailer was basically episode 2 all this time, because every crazy thing that happened that is happening with the episode 2. It's something I was sort of surprised, but I think that's one of the best things about this series. It's just sort of the unexpected and done so well. Especially what happens in the first 2 episodes, because Kid kind of got over happy because go back home, they defeated the bad guy, everything is great, till you realize the garment pops up once again, and you expect, oh, here we go again. No, this time it's something completely different, because they accepted to be the new heroes of the whole earth. Here's your new weapons, your new costume, this is your building, everything's just so hyped up, you just like, whoa. But the only problem is, it was a little bit too good. Something that Papa G did notice, and he didn't want to bust anyone's bubble and just sort of go with it. He also kind of referenced his Lucky Rock, and that Lucky Rock comes later, but something you do notice constantly. But besides that, the second character who noticed something completely strange is Joe. Joe started to notice this a little bit too efficient. Why our team is just winning? Usually we are keep failing because we are not trained, we're still a little bit incompetent. Till she started talking to Papa G, and Papa G just said, yeah, I have noticed too. Since when? The very beginning. And that sort of surprised you that how Papa G noticed this, because everything was a comic book. In fact, specifically the comic book he read as a kid, who he had passed down to Kid. And you realize, okay, why this happening? Why we have these strange things? Now, the whole show explained it, that when it happened, the final episode of season 2, when Kid's team jumped to the portal, they expected to land on Earth. Instead, they landed sort of like a simulation of Earth. Anything you want comes true, but at the same time, the one who sort of controlled this is Kid, and everybody just sort of going with them. But once more, it was sort of strange how everything was sort of perfect. And Joe asked, why didn't you tell anyone at the very beginning? And Papa Joe sort of said, well, I just didn't want to destroy the kid anymore. I didn't want him to be hurt. But at the same time, you became the villain of the first 2 episodes because you let this go too far. Especially if you know comic book rules that the heroes always must be suffer, the kid will suffer also. Especially showing his parents come back to life and trying to figure lies what actually happened to him. That stuff was sort of kind of disturbing. I mean, they made it not disturbing, but you actually think of it, yeah, that's pretty sick. I think Papa G kindness is sort of kind of evil in a way, that kind of smart way that you don't expect, but once more keeping as true as a character Papa G really is. And that is just sort of great writing. I really enjoy it, especially the first 2 episodes. They basically reference almost anything, like every single comic book, even old 80s, 70s shows. Like, I think one big example of The Flash of Two Worlds, that's a comic book who introduced the multiverse, and they actually reference in this show. They made it like a joke. The second one is basically my favorite one. It's basically the Knight Rider, but voiced by Stan Lee. But it wasn't Stan Lee, it was someone trying to be Stan Lee, but I just enjoy it because I wasn't expecting Stan Lee. In that itself, it's just so great. It makes sense of this type of world to have a Stan Lee voice. Why not? Other than that, I love that sort of twist. What happened to Papa G? He became sort of the main villain, and how Joe trying to convince him, yeah, trying to tell Kid. And he took a little while because he feels he doesn't want to do this, but at the same time, he's sort of lying to him because he's the one who's selfish, trying to keep this illusion alive till he finally Joe convinced him and trying to convince Kid. And you feel Kid sort of suffer a little bit, like what, almost like he didn't want to hear this, but at the same time, you kind of do notice maybe he did notice this, but at the same time he doesn't want to admit it. But once more, maybe I'm reading too much of that, but after that, after they pass sort of the illusion world and go back to Earth, I think the second highlight thing about this series, it won't happen to Rosalita, that you see her perspective after everybody escapes the illusion world, that she almost died. You just hear her heart beeping. You see her face. You just see her hands. Like seeing everybody trying to rescue her. She almost passed away. Seeing her eyes, closing her eyes to seeing the next life. Luckily they got saved. And I love it what happened that nobody really knows what to do next. Everybody's sort of panicking. You love it how Joe and Kid is the only two who really has hope they actually can save the world, especially the evil planet who's trying to kill everyone. And you feel it's almost hopeless. You just need some little hope just to keep going on. Yeah, I just enjoy it. They do figure it out sort of off screen using Rosalita, but once more they show how they get the stones, how they make the next step to destroy the planet. But I love it is how they explain the planet, like how this evil planet was destroying Earth after Earth. You think, oh, this sort of evil, twisted monster, he's just a villain. But no, I love it they how to make it sort of clever that the planet was alive. It was a good person or a good creature that he just wanted to help till it got destroyed, and he started trying to fix himself, trying to see he could heal himself a certain way, looking all his parts, but at the very end he became sort of evil unintentionally. Especially, I love this series. It really goes strong of the ideals of a superhero, especially the oldest rule. That's basically you die like a hero or live alone become the villain. Especially of the evil planet, because that's basically the whole idea of this planet. That's its sort of theme. Especially, I love it. They sort of connected to Papa G because he had the missing rock. The rock belongs to the planet. That he thought it was a lucky rock because for some reason everything sort of good happens, especially if he's injured and keep moving forward. All this time he thought it was a lucky rock. No, this was the 40 stone that give you sort of invincibility or healing. That they never really explain what the rock really is, but you know he has a special ability to sort of heal, something like that, because you have another rock who does the same thing. So I'm a little confused what this rock actually does. The only thing it matters this rock Papa G has is basically the missing part of the killer planet, and Papa G just need to give this rock to the planet. But the only problem is this lucky rock Papa G has that's sort of given immortality in a way, because Papa G is really old. In fact, every time he talks about the good old days, you do notice some of the flashbacks. He wearing very old clothes, a little bit too old, and they give you sort of hints that he's about 114 years old. Like, that's pretty old for an old man, but at the same time makes sense because this rock was basically helping him to keep moving forward. Every injury, every death scenario, he always survives. But the only problem is if Papa G give rid of this rock back to the evil planet, what happened to Papa G? He will die. He was too old to move. And something that's sort of interesting because they played with that sort of idea, because once more, Kid is the only family he has. If Kid lost his grandfather, he'd be truly alone, and that's sort of hard to do. And you could have felt that sort of decision Papa G must do. Then you think, oh, Papa G will die. He sort of needs to die, and they sort of tricked you. Like the very end of the episode, he sort of sacrificed himself. Especially how weak he became after he get rid of the rock he has, and you think, oh, that's it, he died. I almost felt for it, but I felt it like, oh no, I want to cry. And lucky for us, Papa G did make it out because it's a little bit too cruel for a family animated series. But I did like the final episode. The final episode is sort of a salute to everybody who basically died during this sort of mission, especially all the planets in the stones who belongs to. That you see this sort of memorial of everybody died, and you kind of felt that sort of emotion because you sort of tricked you at first, but this was officially a memorial, and it was sort of well made, even a little bit comical, just to not make it that sad. Especially when it happened next, the government once more reappears again, congratulations on them again, and pretend this never happens. And Kid like, what do you mean not supposed to happen? We did so many good things. And the government responds, yeah, you did, but we don't want to question people. They basically want them to focus on paying the bills, don't question themselves. So yeah, keep it a secret or we'll arrest you. And Kid and the whole team had to agree, and Kid was sort of bitter. Like, you understand, but at the same time you think, oh, Kid being selfish, but no, Kid just want to unite everybody at this great moment, this moment of history, to be as one, and the government doesn't want to. And I didn't know where this was sort of going at first, till you realize what he's trying to say, till everybody agrees, yeah, the world is so much bigger than everybody thought. Do not stuck in your own little bubble. The world is huge. Everybody's so different. Everybody's so unique. You need to meet them. And I love that sort of good message, especially with the sort of grunge music they put on. It just so great. It's so enjoyable. It just like getting you smile, give you hope. And this is the reason why I love Kid Cosmic, because it always trying to be in the molds of the superhero, the idea of being a hero, and what's the point of being a hero. And I just enjoy. Even that Kid was a little bit annoying of the first episode of this third season, but it was a purpose. But once more, I leave that. If you feel that was a good idea, was a bad idea, I just leave it to that. But other than that, do you like this final season? Do you actually enjoy it? Or you think it was okay? Because to me, I think you should make a movie instead of a final season, because you could actually cut some of the fat, but at the same time, if you do that, you sacrifice all the side characters did not have time to develop. All of that I did enjoy. I did enjoy the conclusion. I enjoy everything what the show gives you. Now I got really nothing else to say, just thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and have a wonderful day. Bye.